Alright, gamer grandpas, get ready because this build is like Righteous Fire, and Cyclone had a bastard baby that is just a little bit off. Another good build revolving around the bug. Who would have guessed? So the premise of the build is that you get a Giga buff to Incinerate, use it until 8 stacks to leave Burning Ground, then you Whirling Slash into it. Now it's snapshotted onto your Whirling Slash and it'll do that damage until you step out of the Whirling Slash, which is ideally never. And you just hold right click and fly through the map with Giga attack speed. So what is snapshotting? Snapshotting in this scenario is using specific pieces of gear like Fire Flower, Crown of the Victor, Rare Staff with fire damage stuff, and your weapon set passes that all apply to Incinerate to get it really juicy. And then you use Incinerate. Then you use Incinerate until it hits 8 stacks. Then you Whirling Slash into it with an AoE Whirling Slash setup. And then that also stays on, even if you use a different Whirling Slash that has a bunch of attack speed stuff. And then you can swap your gear back to your normal gear, which makes you go faster. And all the damage will be the same as if you're still wearing this Fire Flower, the staff, and the helmet. And the weapon passes. And you just slash your way through the entire map really quickly. This build's offense is pretty good. I've spent less than 4 divs on damage scaling items. 1 div on my staff, 1 div for a perfect jeweler, a bit over 1 div for Fire Flower, my jewels combined. I could invest way more to make the damage way better, but it's in an acceptable state for me right now. I've had no problems clearing pretty juicy maps. The damage comes from Incinerate, Burning Ground, so like I said, I would try and grab as much fire gem levels, fire damage, spell damage, ignite magnitude, and deal damage faster as possible. For extra single target, you will also swap to Sight the Spear, which will aggravate any bleeding with this weapon. That then ignites on the targets. That's why we run Lacerate in the Whirling Slash setup. It's a big damage boost. The speed on this build is insane. I think this is probably one of the fastest clearing builds, if not the fastest clearing if you scale it with enough currency. You get full screen AoE, easily 6+ attacks per second, just flying through the game. Getting to that point will take a decent amount of investment in build tweaks, which I have not done. I don't really do min-maxed builds too often. So the build scales attack speed mainly with dex and accuracy stacking. The biggest speed scaler is Falcon Dive, which I have anointed, but you can Panther instead if you're on a budget. That grants 1% attack speed for 250 accuracy. Right now, this node alone is giving me 106% attack speed. Then Falcon Technique gives 1% attack speed per 25 dex, and dex itself gives accuracy. Maximize speed, this build actually uses 2 Whirling Slash setups, which I already explained. 1 for AoE, 1 for speed. The defense of the build, also very good. Hybrid energy shield and evasion, of course, with chaos inoculation now, so the build doesn't die to stupid, volatile plants. I invested quite a bit more into defensive items than offensive items. I prefer to survive than to just kill everything and get one-shotted randomly, so I find defensive. I don't know the exact price of all my items with defense, but having decent energy shield with rarity, resistance, and some accuracy on them to scale my attack speed is probably spent around 15 divs. Now, the cool part of this build's defense is that it actually kind of has like a mini Wicked Ward. If you don't know that from PoE, it's a keystone there, and with energy barrier, Sport Gem on Rolling Slash, this makes it so you get stunned, and then your energy shield recharge will instantly start, which is an easy 1500 energy shield regen, and then it also cannot be interrupted for 2 seconds. So most times you take a big hit, you'll automatically regen it quickly, since we're always going to be spamming Whirling Slash. I've also got around 61% evasion and 34% block. This helps map feeling nice to map with. If you use Gloom Goon, and you get enough energy shield and max res, this build also probably tanks every boss in the game easy too. For scenarios when your recharge is not popping because you're taking like DOT damage or something, I use Covalescence to start the recharge manually. Build uses Gemling Legionnaire because it has the best scalars for speed and damage, +2 in skills and 10% quality of all skills, which helps damage. And for speed, we get enhanced effectiveness, which doubles attribute bonuses, which if we remember, Dex gives accuracy. And then attribute requirements of gems can be satisfied by your highest attribute. You don't have to get 200 int to use level 20 Incinerate. So you'll still need a decent amount of int to equip good energy shield items. I'd say the only other Ascendancy that would be decent for this skill setup would be like Lich, as most Ascendancies just have 2 or more dead nodes. Lich would be way tankier, but also way slower. Now, the negatives of this build are pretty annoying, so make sure you consider these before rolling the build. 1, if you get stuck on a ton of terrain and pebbles and maps, that's pretty annoying. As you're holding rolling slash, lots of maps, you just get stuck on like literal pebbles. You have to stop slashing and walk around manually. If an enemy is on a higher plane than you, a different height, for example, you're walking up a hill, you won't damage the enemy until you actually get on the same high level as them. 3, it's definitely possible this build gets nerfed in a future patch this season. And finally, you have to snapshot your gear in and out at the start of every single map, and maybe sometimes within the map too if you somehow lose your rolling slash. Means you'll have to reapply it to use the checkpoints in the map too, since your rolling slash isn't TPing with you. Now, my gear. For my first weapon set, I'm using Sky Sliver. The stats don't matter, I just wanted a fast spear. You can get a little bit faster than this too, mine is not max rolled, so this is just a cheap option. You can do it with the rare too, a winged spear, base type with high attack speed roll. And then Lycosidae to double accuracy, since this is an accuracy stacker, it's a big speed boost, and then the block chance is pretty nice on it too. Then in the offhand, you've got the staff with spell damage, fire damage, plus all fire skills. And then you'd also want to get, ideally, instead of this mana roll, like deal extra damage as extra fire damage like the runes here. But that's going to be very expensive. Then helmet, got as much energy shield as you can get in accuracy, and then rarity and res. On your non-fire flower amulet, you're going to want to get accuracy, energy shield, rarity, res. Same thing with the ring, rarity, res. Then Black Flame makes the damage into chaos damage, gives a big magnitude of ignite buff, and then also the chaos damage allows us to scale it a little bit more using Withering Presence, which scales damage, and then Despair. Overall, just really solid item. So remember, this build does chaos damage, not fire, but still scales damage from fire damage modifiers. Gloves, you just want energy shield, accuracy, attack speed, rarity. Belt, only thing that really matters here is res. A corrupt for percent increase max energy shield is nice. Boots. Boots are actually kind of interesting because this build we pretty much never walk around. So you don't actually need to get movement speed, which really helps them be cheaper pair of boots. You can get triple res and some energy shield for fairly cheap as opposed to a 25 to 35 movement speed boot. Then my jewels. Got a few different things here. You ideally want, like, the perfect jewel would be like energy shield, ailment magnitude, and ignite magnitude. Obviously gonna be expensive, but you could get a 4 mod perfect jewel with energy shield, damage mods. Area of effect, damage taken from mana before life is nice because we don't really spend mana, so that's essentially just a % damage reduction. Faster start of energy shield recharge is nice too if your Coalescence is on cooldown and you're not stunned. Skills, so skills, there's really not too many on this build. You have a lot of open slots. The Wind Dancer, I've got it linked with Maim. You can put some other stuff in there too, but I don't really feel like it does much. Anyways. Coalescence, linked with Ingenuity for cooldown effect. And then Precision can go in any aura that has an open spot. It's just increased accuracy, which gives you more attack speed. Despair, Heightened Curse, and Focus Curse. You can also, if you want to get more spirit, you can do something like a Blasphemy setup, or cast on Ignite, Detonate Dead to remove corpses so you don't get detonated dead, but I found it relatively unnecessary. I'm just rolling with 114 spirit. There's a little bit from my amulet, which I'm not using, so yeah, I don't really need a ton of spirit on this. Certainly nice, but unnecessary. And then Incinerate itself. We got Considered Casting, Concentrated Effect, Searing Flame, Controlled Destruction, and Hourglass. And if I think about this, you know, looking at this, I feel like this Controlled Destruction shouldn't work. This Ignited Ground is not hitting anything, it's just putting the damage out. So I think that's bugged too, but I mean, it works. I just realized that, but okay. Withering Presence, we got Persistence and Chaos Mastery. Then in the Speed Whirling Slash, got Martial Tempo, Bullseye, Lacerate, Energy Barrier. And then in the AoE one, we got Magnified Effect, Expanse, and Reach. We put something like Font of Mana or something too. Now here's my current tree at level 92. So for leveling this, you're gonna level as Rake, Bleed, Stomping Ground. I have a video, I'll link it in the description. Pretty much how you level everything in the game. And then for this tree though, you can come down here. Here we got some AoE nodes. I'd hold off on those till you get a build going decently. Grab this jewel slot. This is big damage. Path over here, get this stuff. Subterfuge Mask is a big defense boost. And then come over here. You're using a hybrid chest. This is pretty good. Not actually super good, but it's honestly dropping this and maybe going inside here for more speed. Probably better. Then come over here. Energy shield stuff here. You can also grab these nodes for damage. Up here, grab all this stuff, grab that stuff. Honestly, like, it's hard to give a real leveling progression with this. I mean, this build's like not really leveling friendly. I swapped to it by like level 65 or something, and the build's tree is really tight. You really need every level you can get. So yeah, I prioritize damage, speed, defense in that order. Unless you're hardcore or something, I guess. And then Venom Draft. Took Stun Threshold, and I actually took Chaos Res because I'm stupid. So do not take Chaos Res because of this. Take Attributes. And then just as a side note, I mean, I'm not doing it, but leave your Whirling Slash at level 1, so it costs less mana. It does not scale your damage at all. On that same note, I've seen some people, okay, maybe it works and it's a bug or something, but like, it shouldn't work. Some people have asked, why don't I use Font of Rage? And it's because this is not actually an attack build. We're using attack to apply a spell. Right, we don't scale anything with melee damage, and Rage just makes attack damage scale, so we don't get it. If it does work, that's a bug.